Hello and welcome back to The Rusted Brush. This is part 7 in my series, painting the uniforms of the Empire provinces. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so let me explain it a little. Each episode focuses on a different province of the Empire. I go over a bit of lore, culture, and heraldry. Then we build and paint a model to represent that province on the tabletop. As always, I'm not sticking to one specific timeline, and I'm pulling information from various editions of the Empire Army books, Empire at War, Uniforms and Heraldry of the Empire, and the usual lore sources and wikis. Today we're heading north into one of the Empire's most stubborn and warlike provinces, Middenland. Middenland lies in the north-central Empire, covering a large area from the Jackfald Forest to the Middle Mountains. It's a harsh land of frozen thick woods, bitter winters, and constant threats from beastmen to chaos incursions pushing down from the north. Proudly viewing itself as the true voice of the North in times of crisis, the province controls a vast territory stretching from the River Reich and the Great Northern Road in the west to the borders of Hochland and the Middle Mountains in the east. To the south lies Talabic Land, a frequent rival, particularly in matters concerning the leadership of the cult of Ulrich, while to the north stands its ally, Nordland, and the ancient Laurel Forest, claimed by Middenland since the days of the old Jackfald emperors, despite its contested and often tense relationship with the wood elves that dwell there. Through its considerable military strength and economic influence, it exerts authority over its neighboring provinces such as Hochland, Ostland, and Nordland. The provincial capital, Middenheim, the famed city of the White Wolf, is built atop the towering rock of Faustschlag. Middenheim itself considers its stature equal to that of Altdorf or Null, and Middenland has produced several emperors in the past, with ambitions to do so again. While Middenheim is the heart of Middenland politically and spiritually, the wider province shares much of its culture, especially its devotion to Ulrich, the god of winter, war, and wolves. Unlike Reichland, where the cult of Sigmar dominates, Ulrich is the patron warrior god of the Northern Empire. Strength, self-reliance, and martial prowess are highly valued. Middenlanders respect directness and view excessive decorations of southern pageantry with suspicion. The provincial colors are blue and white, with either a wolf or just a wolf head on the heraldry. Most uniforms are predominantly blue with a splash of white or a different kind of hue of blue. Militarily, Middenland has a strong reputation for hardy infantry. Their swordsmen and halberdiers are considered tough and disciplined. There's a raw northern character to Middenland troops. They're not as polished as Reichland forces, but they're incredibly resilient and often more aggressive in temperament. Now let's move on to the model and painting. For the soldier, I decided to use the current state troop kit for the bodies and legs, and also the shield on his back. The arms and halberd are from the older state troop kit, and they're more poofier and less pajama-like than the current arms of the state troop kit. And finally, the head is from the greatswords kit. This one was a super simple build, but I think he's still unique, so let's move on to painting now. To start, I did a zenithal prime of black and white, so my speed paints have an easier time catching highlights. I started with the blues, and for this I'm using Vallejo flat blue mixed with tidal blue speed paint. For the upper half of the body, I used AK Grey Blue. His hats and boots were painted with XV88. I then painted the handle of the halberd and a lever strap with Graveler Grey for a darker tone. I then painted some stripes on the shield and a part of his sleeve with Mechanica Standard Grey. I then brightened this up with Vallejo Light Grey, I painted up some scripts and a skull with Ushabti Bone. Then I painted the armor and halberd with broadsword silver speed paint. The grey parts were then painted with Vallejo Cold White. The grey tones were there to help build up a white finish, basically. I highlighted the blues with flat blue mixed with white, and then the grey blue mixed with white. I painted his beard and hat with hardened leather. I then painted some scribbles on the paper with Abaddon black and some Galvorback red to add some visual interest. After that, I gave the whole model a wash of Ichor of the Dam enamel ink, and then a matte varnish afterwards. And once that dry, I painted the darker blue with Vallejo flat blue, and the other blue with AK deep sky blue. I brightened up the white with Vallejo cold white, and I also painted the hands and face with this to help brighten the skin tone when I get to it. I based the model with some rocks and grass, and then painted the flesh with Warrior Skin Speed Paint. I then touched up the halberd with some Runefang steel and painted the skull with Ushabti bone, and that was the model finished. Middenland is a fantastic province to paint if you want something that feels bold and iconic, but still grounded and martial. I could have leaned a bit more on the wolf bone or some fur, but I enjoyed the rugged yet a bit more clean and uniform look than compared to Ostland or Sturland. The scheme definitely stands out with the other provinces I've done. I really like how all of them stand out, to be honest. Let me know what provinces you want me to cover next. There isn't too many to cover left. Once all the provinces are done, then I'm going to be looking to move on to the unique city-states like Nuln. Anyways, that's it for the video, so please remember to like and subscribe. Take care, everyone.